From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom open in us, ripen in us so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmony to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum hunabku evamaya imaho. Ayum hunabku evamaya imaho. Ayum hunabku evamaya imaho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wednesday edition of Soul Purpose Healing and Beata's Tiny House Village. This is Jonah, my grandson. He wants to be part of the show today, but I have a very special guest who's a lot older and wiser, who will be coming on very shortly. But let's welcome my tiny house village.
Can I say?
And thank you very much for joining us this evening. We are here because of Wednesday night is Vegetable Soup for Women Night. This book was created last year by 9 separate authors, and it was a miracle in the works because 9 people contributed to stories to nourish your body, mind, and finances. We had one person work with AI to put a cover together. And this book came together within, I would say it was 3 months. So this book is now available for any donation. If you send a cash app to Dollar Vieta Robinson, you can get a copy of Vegetable Soup for Women. It was an amazing project that I had the privilege of contributing to. And it stemmed from the movie by Tyler Perry called Straw, which was a very sad, depressing movie about a woman who lost everything, her house, her child, her job, everything. And then she went to jail at the end. So this book brings hope and wisdom and much more for women especially. So every Wednesday, I've been blessed to find phenomenal women, at least 90% of the time, phenomenal women. And when I say phenomenal women, I mean women who are willing to tell their story and tell us about what they learned, the lessons they learned. I think if more women would share their journey and their story and even write books, we would be a better society, a better world. So tonight, I'm honored and really excited to bring on a guest who has the class to know Yanni music is the fabulous music that it is. When I found out that she was a Yanni fan, I thought, this sister and I we've been in another life together, I think.
Yes.
because there are not a lot of people who can appreciate Yanni's music.
I can't believe that.
So, welcome, my sister. This is Sister Robin Anderson. Let me tell you a little bit about Robin because we met thanks to our sister Tawida, who is part of the Synchronistic Human Family. Robin is kin 23, right?
Yes.
I'm kin 178. And we are representing a multi-dimensional mind and consciousness, right? That's what has brought us together. We know that our lives are multidimensional, and we are here to share what we're learning about this experience, this journey that we're on. So, Robin is here because she is the author of When Our Mothers Become Ancestors, a heartfelt exploration of caregiving, grief, and legacy, drawing from her experience caring for her mother in her final years. She speaks on honoring our ancestors through self love, healing, and intentional living. Robin's work centers on guiding women and caregivers to transform loss into wisdom and love into lasting legacy. Thank you, my sister,
Thank
for coming
you.
on as a phenomenal woman to share this amazing story. So, how are you this evening? And why don't you go ahead and share with our audience a little bit about who you are?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. I am Robin Anderson, and she said Robin E. Dana Anderson. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, southeast, and that's where I continue to live. I'm a mother of three amazing young men, and I'm still here. I'm a gardener, author. Uh, I have run an LLC, Goddesses in the Garden, which caters to girls age 5 to 15, just nurturing them and teaching them how to be self sustaining by growing food and nurturing their families. So I'm
Wow.
a healer, I'm a Reiki master, and enjoying life.
Wow. So, did your parents teach you that, or you grew into that? Because it's rare to hear that our parents raised us in that wisdom and knowledge. So tell us a little about your parents, and what they nurtured and taught you to become this fabulous woman you are.
So I grew up with single mom. My parents were divorced when I was really young, an infant, and my mother didn't remarry until I was 11. But we had a huge community. It was a village. So it was my mom, my sister, and I, and aunts, uncles, cousins, just in a beautiful community that I grew up in. So my mother was an educator. She's a learning disabilities teacher.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm lifelong learner. She was also a helper and a healer. So my grandmother, my grandparents had a farm in Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh,
So I learned about taking care of the animals or crops from my grandmother mostly. My mother did not have a garden because she was afraid of snakes or worms or strings that were moving, anything that looked like a snake. So we always had to silk the corn and just, she wasn't having any of it. But when I began gardening, she got into it. So she would help, and she got over her fears. So we spent a lot of time together in the garden, learning a lot of lessons. She even helped me raise butterflies,
wow.
which was huge for her because they're caterpillars, worms, and they're insects. So she got into it. As a matter of fact, she would name them before we would release them.
Wow, that is awesome. In all this in Chicago?
Yes, all this in Chicago.
So during the summer, spring, whenever the weather permitted, you guys were in the yard, in the garden, huh?
Yes, yes. My planting day is typically on Mother's Day because
Wow.
that's when the last last frost, we should be finished with that. So it's pretty safe. But you know how Chicago weather is. You really have to check the almanac. But Mother's Day is pretty safe. And then I grow everything. My mom's favorite fruit is figs. I have a fig tree. We
Mm.
have corn on the cob. I went to the feed and seed store that my grandfather frequented in Alabama, and I got some seeds there. I got some corn. So I grew some of the same crops that he grew, like purple hulls, just greens. We have everything, eggplant, all the herbs that you can imagine. So it's very medicinal, very healing. Right on the south side of Chicago, I have hummingbirds, and nobody can believe it. Like, are you still in the city? Yes.
That is a little oasis in the urban Chicago area. That's amazing. I know who I need to call now for gardening advice. I've tried to grow food in Florida. It's just not working for me yet. But someone told me about coiling. Do you know about making a coil, a copper coil,
Oh,
to stick
yes.
in the yard and let
Yes.
in a antenna? Do you have one of those?
I do. I
Okay, so
do. I
you
have.
notice a difference,
Um, I
or it
haven't.
just works?
I haven't really noticed a big difference. My garden was pretty prolific, but it didn't help hurt.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready
Excuse
to
me.
start that at least this year, maybe, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't see. If I grow food, it's just for me. My family doesn't eat fresh vegetables a lot. They eat more processed junk food and cooked food. Yeah, my grandson. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know you do. Yeah, you do. So it's hard for me when I grow. I grew tomatoes last year. I'm the only one eating these tomatoes,
Yeah.
but he'll eat tomatoes anyway. It's just for me mostly.
Well, you could. So I started my garden mainly because my youngest son did not like to eat vegetables. So when he was about 12, I said maybe if we grow them, he'll eat them. And it worked. So we planted what, we liked or what he
Yeah.
might like. And it is a big difference when you grow up because the food tastes different.
Oh yes, yes,
So you
indeed.
could try, like, even if you just try growing in those grow bags above ground or in pots, just try what you like to eat. Greens are easy to grow, bell peppers, like you said, tomatoes or string beans. I don't know what you say, Florida.
Yes, yes.
I don't
Central.
know what zone that is, but I have a few friends in Florida that have gardens that I can connect you to. And they can give you some tips.
Oh, okay. What part of Florida?
Ocala,
Oh,
Miami,
it's
just
right
different.
next door to me, Ocala.
Oh, see?
Okay, so I will
Hmm.
be contacting whoever you send me to contact.
Okay, yeah, because they
Help.
they garden.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
great. See, there's no accidents. We are the synchronistic human family, and our
We
lives are just synchronistic everywhere, all the time, anytime. As Nib Taharka reminds us, just evolve, keep evolving.
continue to evolve. That's our goal. And we have a Chicago connection. So
Do you?
you and I.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You have any synchronistic human and family in Chicago though?
Yes. So through mimic through mimic the unity,
Uh huh.
there are two people that I've met that are here in Chicago.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wonderful.
we're in a unity circle
Right.
together.
So my sister Robin and I are growing in our knowledge of the correct calendar. And I have come to believe that this Gregorian calendar is why we have all these nonstop wars, because
Hmm.
it started in confusion, first of all, with Constantine and all the boys creating this nonsense. And now we've been so off alignment with our creator that the wars are just proliferate every time. And here we are. But this year, I feel like it's going to be a shift. I don't know about you.
Yes.
We're going to see a shift.
Mhm.
This is just coming to a peak ahead. And with Iran and now Cuba, all these things are happening, and I'm going to play a little bit about the Jamaican sisters words that
Oh,
we
Paula Herlock.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I
Hmm.
subscribed right away. I don't usually
I love
subscribe
her.
right away. You knew about her though, huh?
Yes, I love her. She's always had something good perspective on things, and she puts it in a way that you can understand it, or in bites that you can digest it easily, and it's always relative. I know she's often a guest on I Never Knew TV on that channel, so yeah, I've seen her there a few times
Wow.
as
Okay.
well.
So
Hmm.
we are evolving and growing together, my sister Robin and I, even though we've never really met in person. But as Paula said, the more people we have throughout the globe, the more effective we're going to be. If we have people meditating in Europe, in Australia, in Jamaica, in Chicago, the more people collectively who are doing this meditation and healing work, the more we will see a change in our world.
Yeah, it's more of us. It's more of us that want peace than
Ex-
those who don't. So
Exactly.
we just have to unify our energy and, just stay focused and stay determined
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
create the world that for ourselves and for our children and grandchildren.
Absolutely. So you decided to write a book. I've written now, well, I've contributed 4 books now. This is such a great conversation to have, even about writing and
Mhm.
the knowledge, the peace we gain, the healing we gain. Why did you tell our audience why? Is this your first book?
It is.
Why did you decide to put that story out? What was your motivation? And tell us about that.
So, as you mentioned, I was a primary caregiver for my mom in her final years, and I recognized there was a need for it's a not just when our mothers become ancestors, but it's a survival handbook for love, loss, and what comes after. So there's a need for a guide for I'm sorry, there's a need for daughters, mainly daughters who do the caregiving, mainly.
Right.
But my, people my our age, we're dealing with aging parents, slipping into dementia or various illnesses, spending a lot of time at the hospitals, in and out,
Right.
and they just seem at a loss when they lose somebody, when their loved one trans
Transitions.
expires,
Mhm.
transforms to the next phase.
Yes.
Uh, they don't know what to do, or they're lost, or hopeless, and in despair. So, as I was going through this journey over a few years with my mother, a few of my friends lost their mothers.
Really?
Yeah, a few of my friends who lost their mothers decades prior were still sad or hopeless, and I couldn't understand. I never really can understand when people are surprised that people transition, because it's part of life. It's gonna happen. None of us gets out of here alive. So I just wanted to give people hope. So as I was going through the journey with my mother, I would write letters to her. I was making observations, just engaging the medical professionals, and just it was difficult. It was hard. So I was like, okay, so now I see what they're going through. You don't know until you're going through it yourself. But when it was over, I just felt like I wanted to do something to help anyone else that went through it and that would go through it. And because I've been a writer all my life, I just said I'd write a book.
Now, when you say you've been a writer all your life, were you journaling?
Journaling, writing poetry,
Hmm.
writing as a profession, just writing, just always writing and
But
a
you
reader.
hadn't published before.
No, never published a
Right.
book.
Now,
Yes.
go back a little bit for me. What was your mom healthy most of her life? Most of the time, when you were with her?
Yeah, my mom, she had a stroke in 1985.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm sorry, when she was 85, she had a stroke. And prior to that, she was the designated driver for her friend group. And, she was out and about. She was very independent. But after she had that stroke, things changed. So, yeah, she was pretty healthy. And we
But
had
it's
to
still, but
adjust.
did you see that stroke coming? Was that a surprise?
It was a surprise.
Okay.
We did not see it coming at all.
Mhm.
Um,
Was she living alone?
yes, she lives alone all the way. She did not want to live with anybody. She's fiercely independent.
Okay, you
It's
froze
in
up.
the book.
You
I
froze up.
called her. I called her, and I was on my way to a class, and I called her in the morning, and it sounded as though she had something in her mouth. So I thought maybe she was eating, and she said she was okay, but she wasn't. And then by the time I got to her, after my class, I connected with her. It was clear that something had happened.
I've seen so many strokes in my journey that one of the things that I know for sure is strokes caused by a buildup of stress that
Hmm.
people are not able to handle or process or let go
Yes.
of the root of it. Did you see after this occurred that Mama was not handling stress very well? And then did you even know what stress she was dealing with?
No, if she was dealing with stress, she would never let us know. I have an older sister, and she would never let us know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And here's something that we just had a friend, my son's girlfriend's son's father. In fact, the father of her son, who she's not married to, never was married to, he just had a stroke, has no insurance, so he's in a facility and he's paralyzed on one side. So
Oh no.
it's pretty stressful. And he's only 45, I think 45 years old.
Oh yeah. You
So
know.
we're looking at a bad lifestyle habits, drinking, stress, not obviously not handling stress. But Louise Hay says giving up, resistance, rather die than change, rejection of life is the root cause of strokes.
Right.
So
So it's a buildup of plaque in your arteries, right? So
right, right.
the blood isn't
So it's not flowing. So we
right.
see when we have anyone in our life who has a stroke, they're not allowing life to flow through them. They're
Right.
getting restricted and stuck in, especially in their emotions, not
Hmm.
flowing, not holding on to resentment, fear, maybe anger, sadness. You could probably go back and say, well, mom was, in this state of emotion at some point before the stroke. And
Yeah.
that would help you explain to others, why mom had to teach us this lesson. Because she's a teacher. She's
Yeah,
our
she's
teacher.
a teacher. She's definitely a teacher and a healer. So yeah,
Yes.
it's probably multiple factors. She would say it's hereditary because she would say that it happened to her predecessors. So she would say it was hereditary. I don't think it's so much hereditary except rather than habitual. We do the same thing. We eat the same foods, except I'm vegan. But you eat what your parents ate, and they ate what their grandparents ate, and so the you eat the disease. So, but I have a whole different way of eating. But yeah, just eating, things that we shouldn't eat that aren't conducive to good health.
And I think the bigger question is why are they eating those foods? Because food is a drug.
Yeah.
Most people eat food and they just want comfort. I have someone in my life. They love hot dogs. They're already obese, and everywhere they go, they got to get a hot dog. And they're already on a lot of medication.
Yeah.
And so I'm just amazed. Shh, quiet. We're not naming any names in here. Quiet, Jonah. Jonah knows who I'm talking about.
Oh.
But I respect this person for teaching us the habits that he has, what they mean, and why he's not healing, and why he's addicted to these foods, because they're harming. They're going to harm at some point. The body's going to say, "I can't take any more of this." I had an uncle. I had an uncle in Chicago who his wife had him on a special diet. He was so obese. She put him on a special diet. He was doing really well. And he went to her employer's Christmas party, and it had a Polish sausage, is what I was told. And he came back from that party, went into the bathroom, threw up, and had a heart attack and died. It's like the most dramatic story about going back to that same addictive behavior after a long period of letting go and healing and change in your diet. And then the question to me was, why do we go back to those foods? Because they're comforting.
It's comfortable. It's habit. You figure that and imagine you've been doing so well for so long. One Polish sausage isn't going to hurt. And I mean, it's good. We can't say that the food isn't tasty. It is. So you eat what you're accustomed to eating. You eat what's available for you to eat. And you eat what you like. And so until you break that cycle, break that addiction, and no longer like it. I mean, when I wasn't always vegan, and one of the things that I really liked to eat was bacon. But pork just made me sick. It wasn't that I didn't like it or I didn't like the way it tasted. It just made me so sick. I couldn't eat it. Now you can't pay me to eat any bacon. I just won't eat it because I know it doesn't like me and other things, associated with it. So you just have to change your relationship with food. But I get it. I mean, it's good. I get why people, and then in certain communities and food deserts, it's not healthy food. It's fried food. It's fast food. It's food. It's what's available. Even in the grocery stores, the vegetables and meat is not. It's not even fresh.
Well, it becomes a matter of comfort or nourishment, in my opinion, because the people in my life. Were you raised in a Christian home?
I'll say no. My mother was raised Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh.
And so we always had a pretty clean diet. Anyway, they have a really clean diet. But and then my father was Catholic. So
great mixture there.
Yeah. So but no, it wasn't like we were very churchy or anything like that. But I did grow up a reader and a learner. So, I was in the church, I was out of church. I continued to get more information and evolve to different levels of knowledge.
Now, the reason I ask that, because I have a thorough knowledge of the Bible, because from an infant, I was bathed in the gospel of Jesus Christ by my grandfather, who was a pastor. So I grew up from infancy. Jesus Christ Gospel, Church of God in Christ in Southern Illinois. I don't know if you've ever been to Urbana or
Yes.
Cairo. Like my grandparents lived in Olmsted, Illinois, which is right near Cairo, Illinois. And so every summer we drove down there, got baptized in the Holy Ghost and Jesus Christ. All my youth was there. It was in that environment. So the Bible is in me thoroughly. And now every now and then I go back to scriptures that really speak to me. Proverbs 23 says, and I told my significant other who just passed, he was a Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that.
Well, no, he was a great lesson. Great lesson. Now he was 78 years old.
Oh,
he was brought up in the not brought up. He entered into that lifestyle after Vietnam War, when he got married the first time, and he became an assistant pastor of the Seventh Day Adventist Church. So Proverbs 23 says, if you are married to your appetite, put a knife to your throat, because that food is deceptive from the ruler. It says something, it mentions the ruler. If you're married to your appetite, don't listen to that ruler, because you might as well put a knife to your throat, because that food is deceptive. He represented that scripture so much for me, because he was married to he was addicted to food, and the food that really harmed him was bread. He could not let go of bread. And these days, glyphosate, or the spray, the pesticide spray that they
Mhm.
use, is on all our grains. So we're all getting a dose of Roundup.
Right.
So and he was constipated from the time from a young man. Now, why was he constipated? I learned in 5 years with this guy. His parents gave him away, and he always asked, why did they give me away? Why? Even before, a year before he died, he was asking, I don't know why my parents gave me away. And I'm like, you're 77 years old and you haven't figured that out? Okay. So that was one clue. And he said his aunt, who they gave him to, abused him physically, verbally, and maybe they owned a brothel. He lived in a brothel in Detroit.
Mm.
So he got abuses on every level, maybe even sexual, but he couldn't talk about a lot of it. So his appetite for food was the only love his aunt gave him, was food. He had the best. He told me about some of the foods that she would cook. He had to clean the chitlins now. You know chitlins. Did you grow up with chitlins?
My mother never cooked a chitlin.
Oh my
Never.
goodness. You missed out.
I didn't say I didn't have them or didn't see them, but we didn't have them in our house. My aunt Odessa would cook the chitlins, and so we would like eat one at Thanksgiving. But
So you didn't get to smell them?
while they were cooking, no,
Oh, no,
no,
while they were cleaning and cooking.
no. However, my husband, ex, I called it slave food. He liked all of that, so I would cook it, but I could not clean the chitlins because I couldn't stop throwing up. So there was a young lady, Lisa, who would take the chitlins and she would clean them for me. And then her mom would cook them, Tina. And then I would, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I tried. The first time I tried it, he said I threw everything in the garbage. So, yeah.
That we could tell some stories around chitlins. I'm telling you, as
Yeah,
a
but
culture,
thank it. Yeah, my
as
mom
a
didn't. My
culture.
mom's Seventh Day Adventist. Remember, we had a salad with every meal. So no,
But before the 7 Day Adventist, vegetarian, all that, we were on slave food. We were on
yeah.
slave
Well,
food.
and that was good.
Pork
And of course,
chops.
the food was different. There was no GMO. There was no glyphosate. So
Yes,
rice was rice. Wheat
yes.
was wheat. But they survived, and I'm grateful for the chitlins, for the chicken feed, the hog maws, because they survived, that my grandparents survived, that my parents survived, that I got here.
That's
So
right, sister.
I don't have anything against it. I'm just not eating it, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the ingenuity of our ancestors. They
Yes.
made stuff happen to the point that now it's a delicacy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They charging extra for it. They charging extra for dandelion greens in your salad.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, but no, the quality of food has changed, and the quality of food in our communities is trash. So even if you try to eat healthy, it's organic doesn't mean organic, that it doesn't have chemicals on it necessarily, and it's so expensive. It's more expensive to eat healthy. I think like at Wendy's they have a 4 for 4, but a salad might be $8 to $10. So you can get fries, burger, and a drink for $4, but $8 to $10 for a salad. So it does. It's not. It's too expensive sometimes for people to eat healthy.
Well, okay, so then let's talk about the discipline in eating to nourish our bodies versus eating to comfort our bodies or comfort our emotions, basically. Because tonight my sister and I are talking about honoring our ancestors. So
Yeah.
we need to have a little conversation about our ancestors because they had some wisdom about so many things that today we can take to another level, I think. Because
Yes.
like you said, they knew how to prepare food to survive. Survive. Those collard greens are weeds, but they knew how to cook them, and because that's all the plantation owner would throw out the chitlins and all the rest and they get the pork chops and all that. So they knew how to survive. So we want to honor them in this 2026 year of total corruption of the educational system, the food system, the medical system.
The so-called health system.
So it's a
Yes.
sick care system. So how do we honor? Do you talk about this in your book? How we can honor our ancestors today, not by comforting our emotions with chitlins and pork chops, but how do we honor our ancestors by nourishing body, mind, and soul? Because that's what we're on a love feast now
Right.
to nourish all those levels of our being, right?
Right. So, in the book, it talks about honoring our ancestors by being present because it's a journey of, again, love, loss, and what comes after. It's the final stages of our loved ones and being healthy ourselves to carry on their dreams, desires, wishes, whatever it is that planted in us. But honor our ancestors by being present now. So if you still have your parents, cherish them. If you don't have them, cherish their memory, keep their names in your mouth, keep them alive by saying their names and continuing their legacy, continuing on what the seeds they planted in you. And that's what the book talks about, surviving once your loved one is no longer here in the physical realm and recognizing that they're still all around you in the spiritual realm. The lessons that they taught you will always be with you. But what we were speaking about health. I learned a lot about the health system in the hospitals with my mother and going through rehab and just navigating that system. And it does talk about that being an advocate for your loved one and then learning to be an advocate for yourself. And the most important thing, well, one of the most important things is self care. So taking care of yourself, you become the love of your own life. And, you know, just radical self care is essential because you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to pour from the overflow. People shouldn't even be in your cup at all. It should be from the overflow. So you must continually fill your cup with love and self care, nurturing. It talks about asking for help. Like caregivers and Black women in general, we're super women. We need to get rid of that cape, throw that away, hang it up in the closet, ask for help, and then learn to receive the help. Because many times people offer help, but we say, oh no, I got it. Oh, that's okay. Just say, oh, yes, please. Yes, and more. Just it might not work out. They might not do things exactly the way you do it, but it's okay. So, I talk about that. That's honoring your ancestors because they weren't allowed to rest. Our ancestors, some of them were worked to death. The ones in Haiti, they were worked to death. They studied their bones and showed that these people were literally worked to death. Rest was not for them, so we need to learn to rest. That's definitely honoring them.
So learning to rest, and I don't know about you, but how long did you take care of your mother? Was it years, months?
Probably 3 years.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a
and then the last year, because she had the stroke, and then 6 months later, and she had the stroke. rehab. She was back in business. We were back doing our thing. 6 months later, she had another stroke on the other side of her brain.
Oh, wow.
But she didn't lose anything. It wasn't obvious,
You
but
mean motion, mobility?
motion, mobility. We were working out. We were moving. She was good at rehab. My mom is a fierce warrior, champion, and she's not going to ask you for help. She doesn't want. She never wanted anybody to do it. She never asked anybody for anything. That was her thing. And so yeah, she was back at it. But then cancer attacked, and then we got that one cancer under control.
What
Then
was the, no, what type of cancer?
it was CLL, the chronic lymphomatic lymphoma, and then it morphed into something else that I don't remember the name of. So once we got that, then it decided it wanted to do something else, and at that point, her quality of life was diminishing, and she was done.
So
And so
she
I
went
was,
with traditional treatment, chemotherapy.
she didn't want that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she at that point then she was 86, and so she just said she didn't want to do that. And we tried a chemo peel. So she was doing a chemo peel, and things were looking up, and then just overnight they weren't. But she wasn't able to eat, and just things were slowly declining. And I asked her, like, Mom, how long do you want to live? She said to 87. I said, that's your next birthday, ma'am. She said, I know. Yep. And that was it. She was 87 and out, but that's my mother. She's going to do what she wants to do, period. It's her life, and she was in control. And so
So she left at 87?
oh, yeah,
Okay.
less than a month after her birthday,
Wow.
she was out. She's like, I'm done. But my mom, her quality, she couldn't drive. She couldn't eat. She was drinking those
Boost or,
drinks. Yeah,
yeah,
something. And
yeah.
then she couldn't drink that, and then she didn't want. She was sick of it. She was. I know my mother. We're like this. She was sick of it. She was over it. And she had friends who were 100 or 99. She's like, what are they hanging around for? That's my mom. What are they hanging around for? She was. I know my mom never was interested in getting old. Like she was done.
Yeah,
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 she was done.
yeah.
She's so funny. Yeah.
That's a lot. I know for me, I took care of my older sister for 9 months with breast cancer.
Oh.
And I became so controlling because she came to live with me here in Orlando with my family. And I was working at a health food store at that point. I had been at this health food store for 10 years. So I thought I knew everything. And
Oh.
we were going to get over this naturally. She wanted to
Yeah.
do it naturally.
Yeah.
But her grief and her unforgiveness and guilt about the death of her only child in Chicago, she got hit by a car, her child, and died that night. She never got over the grief. So the grief is what really took her out because she couldn't let go of that grief and unforgiveness, guilt and a grief. All of it was three major emotions. But I was trying to control everything about her therapy and her trying to get her well. And at one point, this song called "I Surrender All." I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I was singing that to her, saying, "You need to just surrender. You need to just surrender."
Yeah.
Because I kept feeling like she's holding on and she's not letting. Little did I know that song was supposed to be for me.
For you. Yeah, that was for you. Surrender all. Yes.
Stop trying to control everything. It's not going to work. And so once she left, my grief processing, I was like, oh, I needed to surrender because she was the greatest teacher for me about emotional intelligence. I saw her grief take her out of here. I saw her unforgiveness and guilt take her out of here because those emotions are powerful to weaken the body and cause acid pH buildup. Emotion. That's why I talk about emotional intelligence in my book and every show I can, and my health and well-being show. It's the emotional intelligence that taught me the main root of disease. Stress, I used to teach that stress was the cause of most diseases, but it's your reaction or your
Your
response
reaction to stress.
that really is makes the difference. Because a lot of people, my dad had stress in his life, but he would overcome it by philosophizing about everything and, making wisdom talks about it. He would just make it make sense.
Okay.
And he was just wise from day one when he lived in poverty in New Orleans. So some people I've learned handle stress so well.
Yeah.
That's why they
Yeah.
live to be 100, even though they're smoking cigars and eating chitlins. That it could be that way because
Yeah,
they
you just don't know. I had
have
a
they
dear
have a
friend
lot
of
of
mine. A dear friend of mine transitioned a few months ago. She's 105.
oh,
But she didn't smoke or drink or anything. And she was dancing, dancing, getting down until she wasn't. And then for a few months she just wasn't. And then she decided to release her body.
105, it's time to go. So,
105. That's what she said. It was time to go. But who's to say, when it's
yeah,
time or how if it's enough time? 104 wasn't enough for her. But 105, she's like, okay, I'm out of here. You know, and we miss her. We even though we had her around all this time, we still miss her because she was just a light, such a light. But her light continues on through all of us.
yes,
And as you were saying, you were controlling with your sister. You were loving her. You just didn't want her. You just were thinking, okay, if you could just do this, if you just take this, if you would just do that. It's natural because it's natural because you just want them to get better and you're doing the best that you can. And it talks about that in the book about forgiving yourself. Like, forgive yourself. That's it.
love that.
Forgive
Okay,
yourself. It's the butterflies because it's transform. You're not
yes.
leaving. It's a transformation.
Oh, my.
But yeah, it
Yeah,
talks about forgiving yourself throughout the process of caregiving. Because a lot of time, especially if you're caregiving for a long time, people feel relief when their loved one is gone. And then they get guilty about feeling relieved. Well, you're not relieved that your loved one's gone. You're just relieved perhaps that they're out of pain or despair or, that things are different for them depending on what your belief system is. So, yeah, it's a lot. It talks about a lot of different things on different levels. And our journey, I have letters to her, poems to her, tips for caregivers, things to know when you go to the hospital, what to expect, things that you need, things that they need. Yeah.
yeah. So, where is the book available? Where can they get the book?
On Amazon. You can get it on Amazon right now. And then I also have a website that you could navigate to figure out different ways to order it. I deliver it locally. And the website is Goddesses in the Garden / Ancestors.
Wait a minute, slow down. What was that, God?
Goddesses, GODDESSESINTHEGARDEN /ancestors.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I got
But
that.
Amazon.
Okay, when our
Oh,
mother,
it's Goddesses in the Gardens. DENS. Sorry.
wait a minute, what did I do?
It's garden. It's gardens. Ancestors.com.
Oh, garden, not goddesses in the garden.
Gardens. GARDENS.
Okay, put an S in there.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, okay. So, let me put that back up there and take this out. Let me bring up some of the comments. We've got a few
Oh,
people commenting.
let me see.
Let me show the book here. Okay, there's the book. Let me go to the comments. See who's here. We've got Washita. I believe that's our sister.
Oh,
Tita. She said, "Got my book. If you will love the journey of reading this handbook."
Ashe. Give thanks.
And so Mama AZ's calling in. I'm gonna let her talk in a minute. And then she says, "Supreme elevation in
In
Lakesh."
Lakesh. In Lakesh. In Lakesh,
Amen.
Alakin.
Ashe, Ashe. PM. Let's see. PM.
Robin Nominal. I like that. Robin Nominal. I gotta write that down.
That is nice. That has a nice ring to
Robin Nominal.
it. Thank you. And she says, add it to your book list, book club readers. Yes, for sure.
Thank you. Robin Nominal.
So Mama AZ is calling in. Let me see if she has a comment. Mama AZ, your mic is open.
Thank you. I'm not your cup.
What? Say that again.
I'm not in this cup. Can you send it to me again because I never know. I don't start getting your link up.
Oh, you didn't get the link for the show, you're saying?
That's what she's saying.
Okay, so you want me to send? Okay, we're almost done, but okay, I'll send it to you. I sent it to you twice. I sent it to your group and I sent it to you individually, but so I don't know what's going on with your phone.
Thank us.
All right, shalom. You're gonna have to probably watch it after we're done.
I am.
But thanks for calling. Okay, so my Maisie's a frequent caller and she's been supporting with me for I don't know 20 years it seems.
Oh, I'm sorry we missed her.
She's a senior citizen who's kind of almost homeless, so we've been trying to support her. So and she talks to the ancestors all the time. She's always saying somebody's talking to her who's on the other side. So do you believe the veil's getting thinner? What about you? Have you heard from your mother in any form?
Yes. It's a story in the book about that. But
Okay.
absolutely. So yeah, my mom,
What
communicates.
can you give us a little bit of what you how she's communicated with you?
In dreams.
Okay.
I have very lucid dreams, so
Oh,
she'll come in
wonderful.
dreams or signs that we both know. So something will come up, or if I have a question about something, she'll absolutely either send a sign or send someone. Someone will speak her words, and I'm like, okay, that's what mom would say. And so, yeah, she does frequently. That's my best friend. And so, it was the most difficult thing for me was what was I going to do the morning after she was gone? Because she was the first person I would call every morning, typically.
Really?
Every day. I talked to my mom every day, a few times a day. I know she was sick of me, probably, and now I'm talking to her still. She's like, oh, I can't get away from this girl.
That
But
is
yeah,
so nice.
I mean, yeah, so if you still have your mother, cherish her. And if she's transitioned, listen for her wisdom. That's what I'll say. And whether she's here or she's gone to another realm, the relationship continues. Yeah, so just be open to it. Some people are either not open to it or afraid of it. But there's nothing to fear. It's all love. And I don't know if the veil has gotten thinner or if people have become more conscious and aware.
Well, I think all of that, because after my mother passed, I had to process a lot of sadness. My mother was
Mm,
an alcoholic most of my life, young,
mm,
and that created in me a desire for love in men or anywhere. I wasn't an
yeah,
alcoholic myself, but I
right.
drank a lot in my teenage and young
Hmm.
life. So once I started healing those emotions, I saw my mother with pure love. I didn't see her as an alcoholic who was, and that made me sad anymore.
Yes.
I started, and I still do. I have a collage of ancestors on my wall, from
Mm.
my great grandparents to all the people who have gone on. And I look at her every morning and say, "Thanks, Mom, for your care, for your love that you gave her." She gave us a lot of love, but she was
Yes.
drinking on the side,
Right.
cleaning those chitlins. She had to be intoxicated to clean those chitlins every
Yeah.
time. But she did them thoroughly and effortlessly, and we had to smell it. So now I just see her
You
with
were the
such love.
chitlins.
I just
Yeah.
see her with such love,
And
and
that's important. That's important.
oh,
I speak about that. If you have an opportunity to be a caregiver for your parent, it helps heal your inner child wound as well as their inner child wound. When you think about it, your mom was giving you the love that she received and not able to give you what she didn't receive. So
yeah,
I say our parents did the best they could with what they had.
absolutely.
So
That's the conclusion we come to when we're
yeah.
healed and healthy in our spirit and our emotions. Yeah,
Mm.
they did the best they could.
They did the best they could, and again, their job was to get us here. So they did that, and anything else is on me. That's what I'm grateful to both my parents, and then I have a bonus dad who's 91,
Oh,
still here in Louisiana. We have another connection, and still driving, and still making dad jokes. So I think if he has any stress, he probably jokes it away. I don't know, but he
yeah.
still has those dad jokes. But yeah, so they did the best they could.
I'm telling you, the humor is what heals them. A lot of them, when they're
Yes.
dealing with stress that they have pushed down into their subconscious, they have a lot of humor.
There's a lot of humor. And there's a lot of humor in my book. I had a friend call me 2 days ago and said that he had purchased, I call it WOOMBA, because that's the acronym when our mothers become ancestors. He had
Oh,
purchased WOOMBA, but I said, well, did you read it? He said, I was hoping you didn't ask me that.
oh,
Because he said he didn't want to be sad. And I'm like, oh, it is not sad at all. There's humor in it. There's levity because you have to laugh. Otherwise, what are you going to do? So I'm like, oh no, it's a book of hope. It's a book of love and hope and just honor. And so I encourage him to read it. I'm going to see if he did next week. And I get it. Nobody wants to read about, somebody's mom transitioning, but it's not that. I mean, she does, spoiler alert, she does transition, but it's not sad. And I don't think it's not the end of the story. It's just a different chapter.
absolutely. And it's the lessons that come out of any tragedy or trauma or sadness that we have to absorb and teach others, teach our grandchildren. What is the lesson
What is
in this? Don't just cry and be grieving. My sister could never get the lesson. It just wasn't happening. As much as I wanted it, I asked her one, can we just talk about Anaya, her daughter? Oh, you've never lost a child. And I'm like, we're never going to talk about this. I'm going to leave that alone
Yeah.
because she's just too deep in grief. And that's what took her out. So thank you for bringing some humor to that, because we do need to at some point accept and maybe laugh if we can about transitions from our mothers and our children or whoever. But some it's harder. My significant other, he couldn't find humor in a lot of things because he just has so many deep wounds that he hadn't healed. And PTSD is hard to overcome. You need professional help. You need a lot of transformation and change. And a lot of these men and or women don't want to make changes because the pain's so deep. Anyway, we could talk about that forever. But I want to just kind of shift into something that is coming up so often. I want your opinion on it. Are you familiar with what's going on in Cuba?
Yes, somewhat.
There,
Yes.
there are so many people. I just want to talk a little bit about that since I have this phenomenal woman here today who has grown in wisdom and knows about the lessons we're learning in our synchronistic family. That there are so many people that once again are divided about what's going on in Cuba. And I see right now, especially on TikTok, that we have AI or a lot of war fear mongers promoting division about Cuba. And if you the video, I'm going to share a little bit about the 77th meridian so that anyone out there who is confused about what's going on in Cuba needs to take it to another dimension or level, because this, just like Iran, these these regimes, these governments have been oppressing and murdering people for years, and yet people are now being triggered into blaming the president of the United States because of the actions he's taking in this year. I want you to just listen to this sister from Jamaica for, I'm not going to play her whole video, to bring in a perspective to help us love ourselves more and stop being
Mm-hmm.
divided. Stop being so divided about political issues, war issues. And let's concentrate on reading books like Robin's book, Becoming Ancestors. Let's read her book, my book, any book that's going to
Yeah.
inspire you, encourage you, and think higher these days. But let me
Mm-hmm.
play a little bit. I encourage everyone to subscribe to this woman's channel because she has so much wisdom that I just, and I talked about astrology on my last show. And I said, just listen to anybody who's giving wisdom. This sister is giving a whole lot of wisdom and spiritual advice. So let's listen to Paula in the context of stargates and much more that I'm not going to play all of it, but let's listen up.
And 2 days before the spring equinox. And of course, I've been doing a lot of work with the two groups that I have, virtual groups, the Heaven on Earth group and the New Earth Leadership group. We've very, very specifically scheduled all our sessions around significant cosmic portals on purpose so that we are able to tap into all the powerful energy available from those portals. Let me just top up my incense. Guys, you know, the ancients were very wise and we would be advised to follow them. Every time I'm about to do a video, I will go into meditation, and then the minute I light my incense, I go into a deeper state. My prayer, of course, and my affirmation, of course, is to bring forward to you information of the highest and purest quality. So we've been doing a lot of work, a lot of meditations, a lot of breath work, a lot of sitting with each other, and just being within each other's field is having a most amazing impact. It's not about the information that is being shared, it's about the field of consciousness that's created when a group of people that are intentional come together to affirm, to pray, to breathe, to sit in silence. So that's what we've been doing. I purposely decided not to make the Friday meditation, the equinox meditation, a public offering as I normally do, because I feel like we are in a little bit more serious of a situation than normal. And I need to ensure that the persons that are participating are very serious, very committed, very focused, laser focused. We really don't want people scrolling through YouTube and, you know, bucking up on the meditation and spending 2 minutes and pulling away. That energy we can't afford for this equinox. So if you are interested in joining, please click the link below. There is a registration link for Friday if you're interested. Otherwise, it's going to just be members of the Heaven on Earth community and the New Earth Leadership community. But I came on here today to just let you know you don't need a guru or a leader to lead you in your meditation. I'm sure everybody here knows that, but I want to reinforce it. The problem with colonization and even with religion is that they teach us and program us to look outside of ourselves, look up to the leader, look to someone's guidance, look to someone's direction. But we're moving into a time now where we don't need any external direction. So I'm soon going to be invalid in the scheme of things. And I don't mind. I want you guys to be able to stand up on your own spiritual feet. So if you join my meditation, fine. But if you don't, sit intentionally in silence as soon as you rise on Friday morning. First in silence, and then bring in the light. And when you're finished bringing in the light and you've powered up all your chakras, then you speak. And you speak with spiritual authority. Speak on what you want to see in this world. Don't pray, begging, groveling to the higher power to ask if they could do this for you. Speak with the spiritual authority that you've been born with. We give away our spiritual authority to gurus, to influencers and all of that, to our government officials, to our leaders, to institutions. Stop. The time that we're in now, and it's going to speed up, the time that we're in now requires that we stand in our own power, embody the powerful light warrior that we are, and sit in your living room. Turn your room into the control center for all that we see happening on this planet. It's been very frustrating. I live in the Caribbean, and for the first time in my entire life, I'm watching our Caribbean become a zone of conflict. And it's not even so bad, but it's still unnerving. First with what happened in Trinidad and Venezuela, and then what is now happening in Cuba. And I feel so enraged sometimes. And that's the beauty of our group. It's people in our community that are saying, listen, calm down. Spirit has this. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. There is karma. There will be a reckoning. So we should not worry. But we can speed up or accelerate it by speaking what we want to see happening in this world. Okay, we have that authority. Now, with the authority that we've been given, we have to also make sure we're not irresponsible with it. And we're not emotional and saying, oh, we want destruction and death to this and that. No. We can just say that we want the mechanism slowed down, weakened, or brought to a complete halt. And it will happen. There's a little group story that we have, because when we do our meditations, we ask for a glitch in the matrix, or we ask for the mechanisms of war or the machinery of war to not work. And so with what's going on in the Middle East, we have seen that some of the mechanisms, and I'm speaking in code here, guys, that are supposed to work and protect, malfunctioned, failed.
So I'm going to stop that there. And I hope you'll visit her YouTube channel. I'm going to put it in the chat. The reminder I want my sister Robin and I need to, or at least I want to enforce, is we need to calm down. Calm down about Cuba. calm down about Iran. There's too many feelings out there talking about things you really don't understand. That sister is telling us, she goes on to say about the 77th meridian line that goes through the Washington D.C. and then goes through Cuba and Jamaica and also part of South America. And she said she and her group have always prayed about the 77th meridian. Her wisdom is so much advanced and higher and sharp on multidimensional energies happening. And she talks about Stargate. A lot of people are so ignorant about Stargate. She says, I'm not even going to go into that because I don't know a lot about it, but I know it exists. So we want to leave you with this message to say, please calm down about getting divisive about the president of the United States. As I said, I did a TikTok video today. If you don't know how to play chess, you're missing out on what Trump is doing. Because in my opinion, I'm a chess player. I used to play chess all the time with my significant other. We played and he didn't know how to play at first. But when we weren't together, he had his own house in Melbourne. I had mine here. He would play chess all by himself to improve his skills. So then when we got together at one point, I was like, okay, you're beating me all of a sudden. What's going on here? So he was practicing. But we both had this really good understanding of what Trump was doing in his choices, actions, behavior, whatever. He's playing multi-dimensional chess because he's aware of the Stargate, the ETs, and so much more going on. So when we see Trump going to war in Iran, we have no clue of what that man is really dealing with. It's not just the evil regime of the Antichrist over there, which I think is horrible. And it's not just the problem in Cuba, the communists. When I was in Cuba, they were giving out bread at this location, and we passed by and we said, oh, they're giving out bread. So we went to sit down and have had lunch at a place. And he said, I'm going back there to get some bread. And I'm like, remember I told you he had a love for bread.
For bread. Mm-hmm.
It was 90 degrees outside. And this man said he's going to walk back to this. I'm like, it's hot out there. He said, I'm going to get me some bread. He came back empty handed because that bread was a handout only for Cuban residents. He could not get bread.
Mm-hmm.
So on the other hand, we're sitting in this nice restaurant having this meal, enjoying wine. And then the next day, our friends showed up from Tennessee. He put us in a taxi, took us to this nice little area where they had Chinese food, and we were dining like, millionaires or something. Then the next evening, we were at this like a disco place almost, a warehouse where they had dancing and drinks, and it was like somewhere in New York or something. So the extremes of poverty, actually giving bread out to the poor, and then having another area of the island where you could go and dine like a queen. I'm like, who's running this show? But that's what people are unaware of here in the United States. We're criticizing Trump putting a bombardment or barricading things. Oil can't get into Cuba, blah, blah, blah. This has been going on for centuries or years. So are you hearing friends at all talk about Cuba, and in what level of understanding are they at?
I hear a lot of different things about what's going on in other parts of the world. And I know that there's similar things going around here in the United States, where there's a dichotomy, where there's severe poverty and opulence, in the same state. Let's just say in the Bible, don't talk about the speck in my eye before you remove the plank from your own.
That's right.
So I think that we have enough things here domestically to keep us occupied as far as equity in the United States. But yeah, there, I've been to Cuba and Jamaica, the islands. It's always been that way. You go to the tourist area and it's fabulosity, and then if you're fortunate enough to link up with one of the natives, and then you go into the hills or go into where the people, the indigenous lands, it's a totally different thing.
Absolutely.
So it's like that in Ghana, it's like that, in Egypt, is like that. It's like that everywhere, but it's like that in Alabama. It's like that in Mississippi.
Mansions.
It's like that in Mississippi.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
that on the some parts south side, some parts of Chicago. It's
Yes.
like that in Boston. It's like that in San Francisco. It's like that in the United States. So we have the homelessness here in the United States. Like you're speaking of that sister that's communicating with you, it's atrocious. And we have multi-billionaires here. So yeah, I'm not ready, first to speak about what's happening in Cuba or other places. Yes, I am aware, and I do, have been those places or do know people who live on those spaces. But I'm fighting for the people right here in my backyard. So
Yes. Yes. So that,
the goal is unity, just
yes.
unity
Yes. Yes.
overall, changing the mindset and getting together and changing the world one person at a time,
And
one
stop
healer at a time.
stop being so divisive
Yeah,
about
there's
things.
no divisive.
We are not
It's
helping.
us.
Yes.
It's us. So
We want to take care, stay in your lane, mind your own business. Like you said, you're working in your backyard, doing your
yeah,
gardening, and stop projecting, broadcasting all this negative criticism at the president, the government. The government is corrupt. We know that. The question is, what are you doing to
what are you
broadcast
doing?
peace in your neighborhood, peace in your community, peace all over the world? The more
Hmm.
we criticize Trump and the government with hateful words, the more we're going to see this war last. This war is going to go
Right.
on and on and on.
Oh yeah, speak more on what you want to see and less on what you perceive the problems are. Speak more about what you want, not about what you don't want. And, just have your facts and speak truth, speak life into a situation. I'm about speaking life and not death. So, and it's not just one person that's in charge of this. That one person that you keep mentioning probably could or could not even be aware. It's a whole system that
Yeah,
needs to be dismantled. It's
that's
a system. It's not one person that he's not in charge of doing this, that, and the third. But what are you doing to make a change, effective change where you are? So there's a lot to be said about that. But I'm working right here in the community in the backyard. In my in my environment that I can affect. I am
yes.
sending prayers and coverings over people elsewhere.
That's right. That's what we have to do. Send out broadcast love, peace, and unity.
Right.
And Washington says it's your book. Talking of her book, it's a book of honor. Yes, it's not sad. It prepares you for the layers of transition. Reading is trending. Get your purple bookmark and read.
Yes, get a purple bookmark. Yes.
And she says, Robin,
That's
start
very
your
good.
reading YouTube channel.
Okay. I'll do it today. Today.
Okay, and she says,
Yeah.
I love Cuba. I think we all love the Cuban people. The government sucks, like most of them. But we love
Yeah.
the Cuban people and we love the
Yeah.
land. The land is beautiful.
Right.
The
We
people
love
are
people. We
beautiful.
love humanity. We love people. And yeah, I enjoy Cuba. But just like enjoy the Bahamas, but you recognize what's happening there. You recognize what's happening in Jamaica. I recognize what's happening in Uniontown, Alabama, or in Loudon, Mississippi. You recognize what's happening every place. You can recognize what's happening in Accra. I recognize what's happening in Cairo, in the temples, the destruction. What's going on in France. You can see what's happening all over the world, but you can see it right here. You don't have to travel. You don't have to get your passport out. You don't have to get on the plane. You can make an effective change here in your own community, in your own consciousness, and like you say, become unified.
Absolutely.
We know about that unity. We have unity classes with Mimic.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
so we a whole unity mission, 52 weeks of becoming unified with the universe for universal change, and that's what needs to happen. But change your consciousness, your way of thinking. You change your mind, you change your life.
That's where it starts. And we
Mm-hmm.
have Ken 4267 says, when our mothers become ancestors by Robin Anderson is
Ashe,
needed. The writing is beautiful. All right.
Ashe, give thanks,
All
give
right, there you
thanks.
go. Get the book and settle down and stop worrying about all these wars. The divine
Yeah.
order is there. And Higher Learning TV show. That's my sister
Oh
Zelda
yeah, that's a great show.
in Chicago. She says, "Thank you, Queen Teachers, for sharing this her story. Phenomenal sisters, Ashe."
Ashe, Ashe. Give
Washington
thanks,
says, "PM."
give
Uh,
thanks.
Washington says embargo on steroids. It's got to stop. It's choking them. They are a resilient people. If we can't help them, leave them alone, please.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's so much going on globally. Again, though, the sister says the meridian is an active point of conflict. That's what we're seeing is that 77th meridian is active. It's an active line, energy line of
It's an
conflict.
active. Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything to do with that. We have to change by broadcasting the love and peace that the world
Right,
needs. And
right.
let's see, Gwendolyn says, when our mothers become ancestors is a very good
Give
read.
thanks, Ashe.
Thank you. Speak life. Ken
Big life.
42 says, speak life. That's what we have to keep doing.
Big
Broadcast
life.
life, not pray, beg, please stop this. Speak life. Just speak life.
Speak
And
life.
Washington says we should buy this book in mass and give as Mother's Day gift. Oh, right. That's a
Yeah,
great
Ashe.
idea.
I've heard people been giving it as gifts. Once they read it, they're gifting it to their daughters or friends, and especially caregivers. Even
Oh,
the
oh yeah.
hmm
Do you have it in, is it just in paperback? Do you have it in any other form?
it's in paperback only now.
Okay, that's good though. That's what's selling right now. Uh, and Washington says, "Spread love or shut up." But that's exact. That's like the final word.
Yeah,
Spread love or be quiet because you're broadcasting energy when you say anything hateful about anyone or
right.
anything. And we are, like she said, all hands on deck now for consciousness to be raised and peace to come to the earth. Vivian Turden,
Hey,
N5G.
Viv.
Great conversations,
Conversations.
ladies.
Thank you, Vivian.
I want
Yes.
to leave on a musical note because my sister and I realize we have a fine appreciation of good music, especially Yanni. And
Yes.
if you
And
have
you were playing Ron Canoli earlier. I recognize that Ron Canoli. I like Ron
oh yeah,
Canoli.
yeah, yeah, I play him before every show.
Oh yeah, I recognize that. That I think that was off my favorite CD. I love that Ancient of Days.
I met him
That's
here.
my song.
He actually worships right down the street from here. He worships
What?
with another church because he's
Mhm.
in his 70s, late 70s, I think.
Oh, his
But
voice
yeah,
is strong.
I finally met him and I went to his service he was having on a Saturday or early. The music was so loud I couldn't take it. And it was in this small room.
You have to have
I know.
Plus.
I said
Yeah.
I might go back, but it was
Yeah.
just too loud, too loud.
Yeah.
And my
That
mother,
Ancient of Days gets me going.
oh my
Ron
goodness. So
Canoli, he's okay
he's
with
on
me.
my playlist for sure. But I
Hmm.
want to just play this song that my sister and I really love, and because Yanni and Karen is her name, she's
Oh
actually
yeah.
on YouTube now.
Mm.
But coming together, these two have come together. The skill of playing the piano and her skill with the violin
Violin.
were
Yes.
just amazing. So we're going to end on a little bit of Yanni's. I think it's Santorini
It
that
is. It's Santorini.
I'm not sure if that's what I pulled up though. I
Oh,
pulled up
oh, I
something.
hope so. Santorini. That's with Karen on there with that red dress on, jamming live
Uh,
at the
yes,
Acropolis.
yes, we're going to play a little bit to show you why my sister and I have so much in common because we love this. We appreciate good music like this. And Karen Briggs is her name.
Yes.
She's got to be the best violinist we've ever seen. So just enjoy a little bit of this music by the best violin solo ever.
If any of my family or friends are watching, they're gonna sign out. We can't hear the music.
Did you say you couldn't hear that?
We couldn't hear it initially. It's very low.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can turn that up. Let me try. It might be.
Hmm.
That when I was going through a difficult time with my marriage, I got introduced to Yanni, and Yanni was my therapy. That sister,
Hmm.
I watched so many, and then I went to at least two of his live concerts here in the Orlando area. Well, and then I ride my bike, as I mentioned on my last show, with Yanni in my ear and the canopy of trees, and I'm in heaven.
Oh,
But we
nice.
just wanted to introduce you to one of our favorite musicians, and Robin has voiced her love and appreciation for good music as well.
Yeah.
So we were definitely sisters. And Ken, she's
Yeah.
Ken 23, I'm Ken 178. And together we meet up with Neb Taharka and the Synchronistic Human family every
Mhm.
Sunday. If you're interested in joining us, just send me a note at my let me see, where do I have my email address somewhere in here. Okay, you can send me you can get my ebook on viata at hotmail.com if you're interested in joining us at the Synchronistic
Mhm.
Human Family Sunday gathering. Every Sunday we gather at 10:30, And we get the best teaching from our brother Neb Taharka, who's the founder of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, right? Did I say that right?
Yes.
So we are so blessed to have people in our lives who are harmonizing with our beliefs and our journey. And let me see, did I miss any? Yeah, we mentioned where the book you can find the book, and someone Washington said, "Thank us, Ken
Thank you.
23, Ken 178, and thank you, sister, for your awareness of bringing people to the platforms that are going to share, so we can share this knowledge globally. We have to get this out globally, the message of peace, harmony, unity, if we're going to change the world. And that's what
And love.
also
Don't forget love.
love, peace,
Love.
harmony, and unity. All
Yes.
of that has to come forth out of our mouths so we can change this warmongering and fear mongering. Let's see. Kim Ya C4D says, great show, fantastic ending. Oh, good. I'm glad
Give
you
thanks.
give thanks.
Give
I enjoyed you, Queens, tonight. Gwendolyn, neither. Thank
thanks.
all of you.
Thanks,
So do you
Gwen.
have any final words, my sister? I'm gonna put the book up where they can get it again. Let's see. Any final words before we go?
You said it. You said it all. Just the final words. Before the final words were the final words. But love one another and change your mind. Change your life. Get
And
that
and
woompa.
and that the honor that we're bringing to her mother, my mother, who are both
Mhm.
ancestors, is loving ourselves.
Loving ourselves.
If you're depressed about anything, you need to go to the trees. You need to go to nature. You need to start deep breathing, because depression can easily be overcome when we let go of the desires that we want things. I'm learning that I have everything I need. I don't need anything. So you get depressed when you say, "Oh, I wish I had a new car. Oh, I wish I had a bigger house. I wish I had this." But if you're blessed to have a roof over your head and food in the refrigerator, you don't need anything else really. And if you have money coming in that you can pay bills, you really. So let us really be grateful for what we do have and express that gratitude every morning, and read a good book like the one we just talked about,
Mhm.
and sit down and meditate more and more about peace, love, and unity in the world. That's what we need to do. So, to all my yogi friends out there, namaste and sat nam,
Namaste.
ashe, ashe, o, aho, aho, and shalom. Everybody have a great evening and the rest of the week. This month is almost gone. It's like amazing. I see two more comments here. Let's
Oh,
see. Let's see. I enjoy your queen. Okay, Washington says, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to Yanni. Yay, we got another.
yay.
Always got to get Yanni. Yanni's the therapy for us.
Oh,
MK Dubose, fantastic. When Mothers Become Ancestors is such an important book. I bought it immediately, and after reading, inscribed to my oldest daughter. I will absolutely be buying additional copies. All right, way to go.
Ashe. Give thanks, twin. That's my
Thank us.
twin.
Thank us. All right, we'll see you soon, my sister. Next time, I don't know when I'll be in Chicago. It'll be warm when I come back to Chicago.
That makes sense.
But I will definitely look you up when I'm there. We got to have lunch or something.
Absolutely. Ashe, it's my honor and my pleasure to have been here, spend this time with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank us. Thank us. Ashe, Ashe. Let's do it
Ashe.
again in the near future. Have a great evening.